Yes, we're out of time. We are live. I think there was a delay, folks. We didn't realize we were already live. Good morning. Welcome to the NuSpecian Live. We were prepping what I was going to read today. Oh, don't hear you, Aston. I think you have to reconnect. Let's see. All right, well, Aston's getting his audio set. In the meantime, I see Yvonne, Maxine. Good morning. Good morning. We'd love to hear from all of you to say hello to us. We are in Bronxville today, so we're not in our studio. We've got Olivia in the background there trying to keep us together, but she can't grab us and shake us. So fortunately, it's up to us. Olivia, you said you're hearing Aston when he talks? Aston, say testing, testing. No, you're not hearing him, I don't think, Liv. Okay, I hear something.
Testing, testing.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Liv.
All right, folks. So because we're in a small space today, I'm going to try to keep my voice down so we don't end up getting a feedback loop. Otherwise, Olivia is going to be muting each of us while we're talking. It's going to get confusing. All right. So we will quickly begin today by saying good morning and welcome to the NuSpecian Live Q&A. NuSpecies, if you don't know already, is a natural health company. Aston invented our flagship formula over 20 years ago. We officially incorporated 19 years ago, and ever since then, Aston has continuously invented new formulas. They are mostly plant-based, mostly liquid, all very potent to help our bodies be as resilient against some of the toughest of health challenges as possible. So like supplements, but way leveled up. And again, herbal medicine, nutritional supplements, however you want to call it, supporting your body to help you reach your health goals. Having said that, a good health choice for you may not be a good health choice for someone else. And so we have developed our integrative health consulting practice over all of these years because many people come to us with complex situations, pre-existing health issues, medications, medical interventions upcoming, everything you can imagine. And so we've developed a skilled way to help you get the most out of your medical care and the most out of what nature has to offer. And we've shepherded people through some pretty cool experiences, and we've seen amazing, amazing health recoveries. And so we do this Q&A every Saturday at 10 a.m. to continue to provide, whether it's regular client service to those of you who come here for that, or whether it's an introduction or answering some questions for those of you who are new and getting to know us and figuring out if NuSpecies is the right path for you. So we welcome you all, and it doesn't matter what we're talking about, our agenda is actually what's on your mind. So post into the chat anytime with your questions so you don't forget it, and we will manage it on the back end to make sure we get to everybody, hopefully before the end of the show. We will have a hard out at 11 a.m. because Bronxville is actually supposed to open at 10, and we're going to keep it closed until 11 to be on the show. But then we will have to convert to store activities. So for those of you who actually want to and can come visit us today and say hi, please do. Yeah. Olivia can put in the chat the address to the store if you don't already know. All right. Good morning, Leslie. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And we know there's a bunch more watching, and we thank you as well for being here. Aston, should I do some quick store hours, stuff like that?
Let's do that. Right. Okay. I want to speak to something you just said about resilience.
Okay. That's before we get to the reading?
Probably, I don't know, but I think everyone needs to know what that means. I know they know and think they know, but there's always more information. So, but
I'll do the hours first. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're here in Bronxville until 5. I know Bronxville normally closes at 6, but we'll be here until 5 today because Zoe's actually not here. Next Saturday, Bronxville will actually be closed. And then the Saturday, which is August 29th, and then the Saturday after that, September 5th, Aston and I will be here again covering for Zoe. So we will again do the Q&A from the store, and we will open at 11 and close at 5. And then on Monday, September 7th, which is Memorial Day, both Elmont and Bronxville stores will be closed because our team will be taking off. So we'll be available over the phone as normal, but the stores themselves will be closed. So those are the upcoming business hours, things to know. And then we will be releasing our schedule through the rest of the year for the at least one day in each store. Aston and I will be present. So if you need more opportunities to be able to come see us, we will get that. We'll get that scheduled to you soon.
Yep. So
All right.
y'all can prepare. So if you don't have the app, download the app. If you're not on the email list, be on the email list, be on the text list, be on all our communication devices if you're not, so that you can know what we're doing and when we are doing it. All right.
All right. So on to your comments about resilience.
Yeah, you say it, and I'm not sure what's going on in all the NuSpecians that are on in their minds, but what's the reason why that is so important is because we human beings, we are an open system. Our entire body is open to the entire universe. Anything in the universe that can fit into our bodies can get into our bodies through our eyes, our nose, our mouth, and probably even more critically, our skin. We have billions of pores in our skin, through which viruses, bacteria, parasites, chemicals, pollution, all these things can get into our bodies. We're an open system. And that is every second of the day. We're open to all these antigens getting into our bodies. And especially when we eat foods, we drink fluids, water, whatever, juices, we still have bad things that can get into our bodies. And that's why we all have to keep our bodies resilient. And that means strong, the immune system pretty strong, our metabolic system, which is probably the most important system in the body, because metabolism is where whatever we put in our bodies ourselves as nourishment, it should be powerful, it should be clean, so that our bodies can convert it to energy, not just to support our bodies, but to fight off all these things that are getting in. Viruses, bacteria, parasites, and especially if we have chronic inflammation build up inside, all these things that are getting in just make us worse. So that's what we mean by resilience. It means that keep the body so strong so that it can fight against all these antigens for itself. And that's why we all get infections. That's why we all get inflammation. And we have to keep the body strong, because once we get inflammation is the beginning of any disease. And by the last count I checked, there are about 18 or 19,000 different diseases that have been identified in the United States that affect and harm or kill human beings. Okay, so resilience means always striving to keep your body strong. Eat well, drink well, exercise. And drink well means, have the right amount of water in your body so your body can be hydrated to flush all these things that our body is going to destroy: viruses, bacteria, cancer cells, inflammation, chemicals. Our bodies have to be fully hydrated to be able to purge it out. Otherwise, it just gets circulated in our bodies, and it can get stuck in an organ, the liver, the kidney, the heart, the brain, and we develop issues over time. So that's what resilience is: keeping our immune system as strong as we can and not wait like a lot of us do. A lot of us only become awake to all these dangerous, sometimes deadly things getting into our bodies. We only become awake when we're sick. And we only become fully awake when the doctors say, I tried everything, I can't help you. That's when a lot of us become fully awake. And now we see our bodies worthy of being protected, worthy of being cared for. And in many cases, that's when it's too late. So don't wait until it's too late. Start now. Support your body. Care for your body. It's worth a lot when you lose your health and you lose your life. All right. Resilience.
All right. We're going to read from, and Aston, Olivia might mute your mic while I'm reading in case there's an echo. All right, so this is Aston's Singularity, Dual Aspect Emergence, Volume 3. We read from this book the last time. This is called the Ma'at, the Agdod. Agdod? Agdod?
Yeah. Agdod.
Agdod. So Ma'at, the Agdod, Sacred Texts, and the Memorial Voice. So this is Volume 3. I think Aston has recommended this to a bunch of you. And I'm going to be reading from Part 5. This is called Tender Honor, Ancestral Light, and the Memorial Voice. So this is where Aston does a dedication to his parents, grandparents, and ancestors. And this dedication, Aston, if I'm correct, is in context of the teachings. So this is not like a dedication like at the beginning of a book. It is, right?
Yes, it's one of the cornerstones, if not the cornerstone of all the different parts of the books, all the volumes. It's a cornerstone. So folks, NuSpecians, friends, family. What I'm doing now, I'm sharing what inspired me to create NuSpecies. You've heard about it over the years. My mother, my father, especially my father. So this is the cornerstone of NuSpecies, the cornerstone of the books. And everything you read in all the books, it came from right here. What Jillian's going to read about my parents' suffering and their spirituality as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So eternal prayers of dedication to parents, grandparents, and ancestors. Eternal prayers of dedication to parents, grandparents, and ancestors, long life and immortality. The memorial reading of Tender Truth, written by Aston Farquharson. For my father and mother, prostate cancer, diabetes, amputation, and the enduring legacy of love. We gather today to speak the truth gently, not to make suffering into doctrine, not to pretend pain was fair, not to offer easy explanations for a hard reality. We gather to honor, to remember, to bless, and to hold with tenderness the lives of my father and my mother. For they were not perfect, but they were good, and goodness matters. 1. The blessing of their compassion. My parents were not wealthy, yet they lived as though generosity was their inheritance. They fed the hungry, they helped the sick and elderly, they welcomed children who came in need. They ministered not only with words, but with presence. They did not turn away from suffering, they did not look away. And because they did not look away, many lives became lighter. Let it be said plainly, they carried a faith that bore fruit, empathy, kindness, charity, and courage. The blessing of my father's suffering, prostate cancer. My father was diagnosed early with prostate cancer. And though he fought, though medicine was tried, though surgery and radiation and chemo were taken, the disease moved onward. It became metastatic. It spread. It took from him what no man wishes to surrender: strength, ease, the simple confidence of living without pain. And soon after, he died. We do not pretend this was acceptable. We do not call this a blessing. We do not say it happened for a reason we can understand. We only say that he suffered, he endured, he remained human, and this is not small. For when the body weakens, dignity must be protected. When the future collapses, meaning must be held carefully. So we speak with reverence. My father was not a disease. He was a man, He was a father. He was a soul who carried love. And even when treatments did not save his life, they did not remove his worth. And lastly, the blessing of my mother's suffering, diabetes and amputation. My mother was diagnosed early, in her 30s, with gestational diabetes. And later diabetes remained, like a long night that would not lift. Over time, it harmed her body in many ways. It damaged her eyes, it damaged her kidneys, it weakened her strength, and eventually both her legs were amputated. She endured what many would not survive emotionally. She lived through a kind of grief that repeats itself every day. And still she remained. She remained a mother, she remained a giver, she remained a human being with dignity. Let it be written with tenderness. The legs were taken, but love was not amputated. The eyes were damaged, but compassion still saw. The kidneys weakened, but the spirit still carried light. And in time, she died from complications. We do not deny the cruelty of that road. We do not pretend it was fair. We only honor her courage within it.
Okay, that was deep. That was my mother and my father, and a lot of you have heard me talk about them, and that's just a small section of the book. There are more readings on both of them, giving you more information about their character, their personality, their endurance, their faith, especially their faith. A lot of you go through this. A lot of you have family members who go through this. And these books are written for you to see the birth, the genesis of NuSpecies, and to see the suffering that my family witnessed for us to be able to be sitting here now talking to you about it. So it's because I see a lot of you going through, the same fear, the same hopelessness, the same pain, the same suffering, and the same situation where, medical science is not enough to help with the suffering. And a lot of you watch your bodies just fade away little by little, and family members fade away little by little. So this is a memorial for all of you, not just for us at NuSpecies, but it's a memorial for all of you to remember your parents, your loved ones, your friends who suffered, and move on. And these books are to help you go through it, because psychologists can't. Psychiatrists can't. They can help to some extent, but a lot of this work has to be done yourself. So what we at NuSpecies are trying to do is to give you tools to manage your stress, that will crush you in the end. Like we see a lot of clients who get sick, whether with cancer or something else. It's the stress that kill a lot of them. It's not the cancer, it's not the heart disease, it's not the brain disease, it's not the condition they have, the disease condition. It's their stress that killed them quickly. It's the stress and hopelessness that worsen their conditions, not the disease itself, because when we stress, we also suppress our immune system. We suppress our metabolic system that support the body. So that's what they're about. All these books are about that. They're about allowing you, teaching you to see life the way it is. Yes, there's a heaven in the afterlife that we should strive for, but we also have to live in this life. We have to live and face the challenges of this life, and we can do so with the least amount of suffering and the greatest amount of hope. And that's what these books are all about. So thank you, Jill, for reading that.
You're welcome. I'm going to elaborate on what you're saying just because we don't have any questions yet. And I just want to remind anyone who has joined since the intro that doesn't matter what we're talking about. If you came here with a question today, that is our agenda. So please post it at any time that you think of a question, and we will wrap up what we're saying and get to your question. All right. So what I wanted to say, Aston, was we were commenting earlier. Like earlier this week, we were talking when we talked with my mom recently that, many of you may know, we've been talking about this for a while, but my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer 8.5 years ago. And she's had quite a journey. But what we've always talked to my mom about, lowering her stress levels, finding ways to endure and be more resilient, or to either make the changes she needs to make to eliminate those stresses, or find a place of acceptance with certain things if she doesn't want to change them. And she would not accept either one of those. She didn't want to make certain changes, and she also didn't want to accept the way things were. Normally in that case, the issue is someone else that you can't change, right? And we all have those struggles in one way or another, where we just want the other person to be what we need them to be. And that's often not going to work. And we either have to choose to make a change for ourselves, or we have to endure or find a way to change our mindset about it, right? So what's interesting is, as my mom's condition developed into something that, in all cases, progresses extremely rapidly. We're now going on like a year and a half of something that should have taken her life within 3 weeks to maybe 3 or 6 months. It's really interesting because the new symptoms were symptoms that actually calmed her down. They're very difficult symptoms for her to deal with, but they have like physically suppressed her in a way that she just can't stress anymore. She's just like, we joke that like everything is just, she just says, okay. And we laugh about it with her, because she's like, you're right. Like because of these particular symptoms, I really just am so much more chill than I've ever been in my whole life. And I'm wondering if that chillness is like what has allowed her to continue to live.
Mm-hmm.
Stress can be playing a role that is devastating and you don't even know it.
Well, she and I talked about it just a couple of weeks ago. I think you were over here and you were working, but she and I were laughing about it, how calmer she is now. And a lot of things that used to bother her just don't bother her anymore. And she laughs about it. She actually finds it just funny how she has lived and worry about so much that really didn't mean anything. And now she's at a place where some of these things don't even enter her mind anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you just said is quite profound. And I think we all have something like this in our lives when, we come to a point where we realize that, we've been stressing about this whole thing that we can't control. We're just, harming ourselves. Because we're never going to, if we live 1,000 years, we're never going to be able to control it. So, but we worry about it and we allow it to hurt us, harm us. So that's quite profound. And I'm sure you all are listening have situations like that in your lives as well, where you come to a point where you realize that you just don't have control. So why worry about it? Why depress your immune system? Why hurt your brain? Why hurt your spirit? Why go to hell over something, or in your life that you can never control and you will never be able to control? It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be your own children. I have, just talk about her mother. I have 2 siblings that are entirely estranged from the family. 2 siblings. One lives in New York City, one lives in Pennsylvania. And they're my siblings, my brothers. I have not seen them in over 30 years.
Aston, I'm going to interrupt just for a sec. I think because I think you're touching your desk a lot, or your computer with your hands.
I am.
You're talking with your hands for some reason. Now all of a sudden you're becoming like me. But it keeps interrupting your audio.
I'm sorry. Okay.
We're used to the studio where the audio is going through this very specialized mic, but now your laptop is in charge.
I put my hands away. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
So the whole point here is that in life, whether it's friends or family or strangers or work, whatever it is, and I work with all of you, probably. And there's certain things that we grow to realize that are out of our control. And your mom, she and I we actually laugh about it because there are things that stressed her that she cared about or she wanted to care about, and they stressed her. They probably harmed her, and then
Mhm.
she comes to the realization that you know what, that's really nothing. It really doesn't even
Mhm.
add much to my life and my health. So that was quite profound what you said.
Well, inspired by your books, but also that's Aston went through his own experience a few years back, and these books kind of poured out of him after that. So he was put in a situation where he had to endure emotionally and spiritually and mentally. And yes, he did everything he could physically, and he took his new species like I've never seen before. And he was, doing all the things, but sometimes you need that extra layer. And so he wanted to gift these, well, obviously they're for sale, so I don't want to confuse anybody, but it is still a gift in that.
I consider I consider I consider myself disclosing probably everything about me. There isn't when you read this book, there isn't much more you want to know about me because my whole life is poured into them to share with you. Because a lot of you ask me directly to, who are you? What gives your life meaning? What gives your life purpose? Why do you do what you do? And why do you do it, unflinchingly, with no exhaustion? Why do you do it? So that's what the books are. The books are about the universe and how the universe lives in us and how we live in the universe and how we have to live with the universe if we want to have good health and long life. We can't fight the universe. We have to live with what God has given us. We have to live with that. So that's what the books are about. And it's my perspective of, after talking with tens of thousands of you over years, plus my grandparents, my parents, family members who have struggles, all of that is coalesced into a story that involves the universe, and it involves spirituality, and it involves good health, and it involves longevity, how to live long, how to live as long as you can. Jillian mentioned resilience. That's a huge part of it, but resilience is not just eating and drinking, it's also stress management. Like Jill brought it up, you have to manage stress because stress is a killer, and stress is probably more deadly than even cancer, even the worst cancer, which is probably TNBC, triple negative breast cancer, probably one of the worst cancers. So stress is even worse than that. That's how bad stress is. So we all have to learn to manage it, and by doing that, these books can help you do that.
Excellent. We'll post again the link directly just to the generic books page because people can pick. Aston, they don't have to read the books in order, right?
No, it's actually one book. Yeah. All the volumes, they're all one book, but because it would be so long, they're broken up. But you can start with any volume. The way I structure it is for you to start with any volume. You can start with one, or you can start with seven.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just getting adjusted here. Okay. I'm gonna trying to get away from you a little further, see if it helps with the audio. Okay. All right. So we have a question from Leslie. Sounds like she's got a layered situation, and I don't know how much you can do now without getting more, labs and things from her. But I'll read what she has said, and then let me know how you think what you can provide for her today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Leslie says, help. Over 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, and the doctor had me on Synthroid and multiple other medications that did not help me, and the side effects caused her to stop taking them. Last year, after running tests, my doctor said that my numbers were very bad and put me on Tyrosint. I think that's how it's pronounced. During this time and my whole life, I have always worked out and have had a healthy diet, but I'm always fighting weight that will not budge. So I'm just going to post her first question just so we've got some context. And what do you think you can do for Leslie in this context, if not just a consultation?
So this is a wonderful question, Leslie, only because it's going to allow me to elaborate on a few things that I normally wouldn't bring up on our Q&A. I would bring it up in a consultation. So what you're going to get now is sort of a consultation because it applies to everyone. I feel like every question that we're ever asked applies to everyone. The mechanism is different, but the sign, the biochemistry.
Oh, Asim, sorry, quickly. She corrected hypothyroidism, not hyper.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. Whether it's hyper or hyper, it doesn't matter because usually when someone has one, they have both. It goes back and forth. So this week you could test and you have hyper, and a month later you could test and you have hypo. That's kind of how the thyroid works. It goes back and forth. So, and that's why this issue is, it can be debilitating for a lot of people because I've had, Leslie, hundreds of thousands of clients over the last 20 years with this condition. And some of them would tell me they would starve themselves. They would eat one meal a day, half a meal a day, quarter meal a day, while going to the gym and still put on weight, while taking the medication from the doctor and still put on weight. And then it can go in the reverse, weight loss. It can also cause that. So, and some clients would say the same thing. They would try everything to put weight on. They would eat the worst foods. They think it's the worst food to put weight on, and they just can't put weight on because the thyroid is probably one of the most powerful organs in the human body because it monitors everything. It monitors metabolism. Metabolism is the most important function in our bodies. That's how our bodies burn and use food. That's metabolism is probably the most important system. It support all other organs. Metabolism support all organs. It support everything. It will destroy you and it can make us and it can destroy us. So for you, what you're doing is what you need to do, and we can put you on track to do it. You have to go on our purification system. Now, let me explain what that means. It's not a detox. It's you have certain chemicals from outside your bodies. Jillian mentioned resilience earlier, and I said our bodies are open system, meaning chemicals get in and they get out. So you have to do a purification of your whole body to get rid of the biochemicals that are affecting your thyroid. And yes, you, like me and everybody else, would love to go to our doctors, and our doctors can personalize our biochemistry, do personalized testing of our biochemistry, but that's impossible. The technology is not available. But what you have available to you, you can purify your whole body, and we can put you on a lifestyle plan that you should follow, and we can put you on a stress management plan that you should follow. And if you do those 3 or 4 things we put you on, your body will resurrect itself. And that's that's why my mother and father believe in God, because they believe that God make us to be able to do things for ourselves to fix our bodies. So this is what you can do. You do these 4 things that we ask you to do to restart your body, to restart the healing systems in your body so that your thyroid can start functioning. Even if it's not perfectly, it can function enough for your body not to have suffering. And you will start losing the weight by doing that. So give us your number if we don't have it. I know a lot of Leslies, so I'm not sure if you're the Leslie, one of the Leslies I know, but let's talk, and we can put you on the purification system, and do it for 30 days or 60 days. Maybe that's all you might need to get your body purified. And a lot of the work, Leslie, you'll have to do it at home. So you should be prepared that you have a huge stake. Most of the work has to be done by you at home, especially when it comes to what you eat, what you don't eat, intake of water, and all the programs that we're going to put you on. And I think you're going to be fine. Your thyroid can start functioning, maybe not perfectly, but it can start functioning in a way where you don't put on weight, because if you keep putting on weight, you're going to get diabetes, you're going to get blood pressure, you're going to get other chronic ailments. And that's what, extra fat, it does to all of us, not just you, all of us. I hope that helps.
Yes, I was asking Leslie if she could just confirm if she still has a thyroid, because I was just wondering if, let's say, I feel like if it was removed, she would have said that, but we know some people forget that.
If it's removed,
she says she has stopped all medications right now. Because don't you usually get put on Synthroid when you don't have a thyroid? Or you
so
can be put on that anyway.
whether if they put you in the biochemicals that the body is supposed to make, and it's not making it, so that's what the
Oh,
medication.
okay. So even if you have the thyroid.
Yeah. So if you remove it, it's the same. They still, if people who remove their thyroid, they put them on certain medications that the body needs, and if the body doesn't get those biochemicals, the body literally just fall apart. The heart, the brain, the cardiovascular system. So whether you remove your thyroid or not, this applies. What I just said applies. Purify your body, restart your body, and then we have thyroid support as well. If you after that, if your body needs certain biochemistry, we can try to get your liver and your pancreas to help produce those biochemicals that are missing. Because that's what the liver and the pancreas, that they are the digestive organs. The foods we eat get into our stomach, it gets churned, and then it gets to our small intestine for digestion. That's where the body decides what biochemicals it's going to make for what organ. So if your thyroid or any other organ needs certain biochemicals to support, that's what's going to happen. The liver, the pancreas, they work together with your hormonal system to make the biochemicals the body needs to support itself. That is how resilient our bodies are, folks, our NuSpecians. That's how resilient our bodies are. Our bodies can make any biochemicals that it needs, any biochemicals, but our bodies have to be strong enough to do it. We have to have the right metabolic strength to do that. So when we eat the foods, like we make a recommendation to you as to what NuSpecies you should take. That's exactly why we put together a system for you to support whatever is going on in your body, because we know there's certain biochemicals for certain organs. If it's the prostate, or if it's the thyroid, or if it's the ovary, the breast glands, whatever it is, we put you on formulas that the body can use. The body will use these formulas, these ingredients, to create the biochemistry it needs to support these different organs. So that's what we can do for you. Whether you have a thyroid or not, it doesn't matter. The body is resilient. It will compensate. So if there's certain biochemicals the thyroid would make and it's not making it, guess what? Our bodies are so resilient, other glands can kick in to do that. I'll give you a good example, Leslie. A lot of the guys who had prostate issues and women who had ovarian issues, they remove their ovary, or the guys remove their prostate, and what happens is that we try to rebuild their bodies so that their adrenal glands can kick in for the men to produce some testosterone. Same thing for the women. So our bodies are so resilient, but you have to know, and you have to know what to do. You have to know what to take so that your body can target that weakness wherever it is and support it. And it may not grow back an ovary, grow back a thyroid, grow back a prostate. It probably won't, but the body has other mechanism that it can use to support itself. That's how resilient our bodies actually are. but we have to give our bodies what it needs for it to be able to do so. All right.
All right. So we don't have any other questions.
Okay.
Yvonne asked for the link to the book. Olivia provided that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're welcome, Leslie. She has said thank you a few times. So that's great. And I did put up the banner. I'll do it again in case anybody needs the phone number or email to reach out. But if you, Leslie, if you just call, anyone on the team can let you know the options for the purification package, because there actually are options based on your budget.
Right.
But if they need Aston's guidance, or if you need questions answered from Aston, they can just conference him in. So you don't need appointments, just call. All right. Yeah, okay. We were saying the same thing at the same time, Leslie. She was asking, how do I schedule a consultation? So you don't need to schedule it, just call and the team will conference you in. And if Aston's not available in that moment, then they will put you on a list and he will get back to you as soon as he can. He just works through the order in which things come, unless there's a true emergency or urgent situation for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Olivia, if you could put the email and phone number in the chat, just so that Leslie has it there as well. All right. Yvonne wants to know, is it okay to do GLP-1 meds, which are those weight loss medications like Ozempic, while on your product line?
You can. We have many clients who are doing that and doing it successfully. And yes, you can.
It's probably even more important to do so because of the side effects of these medications, where it's being reported and studied now that especially for women over 50, it can cause severe bone density issues. So you want to be taking, and they're correlating this to various things. Like, for example, if you have a suppressed appetite, which is what these meds do, you won't be eating as much. And if you already weren't eating healthy before, you're probably not choosing to eat differently now, unless your doctor has advised you to and you're really listening and you're eating lots of fruits and veggies. Maybe your diet is more nutritious than it has ever been. But if it's not and you're eating less, you're going to become more nutrient deficient, which they believe also leads to lower energy, which means less exercise, which means less muscle mass. So they can cause quite a long-term disturbance. And taking a really powerful supplement like NuSpecies, especially calcium, is going to be probably essential to long-term success.
And if you do our calcium, which is natural, not made from rocks,
yes.
If you do our calcium, you should also use our vitamin D with the calcium. The vitamin D, our vitamin A and D, it works with calcium for better digestive support and metabolic support as well. So, and that goes again for all of you. Taking our calcium, you take it with the vitamin D to get the best out of it.
Perfect. All right, Yvonne, hopefully that is helpful. All right, she said she got her package on Friday. We'll start when I get home on Tuesday. Excellent. Your package was packed up with lots of love by Olivia, so hopefully the vibes will come with the package. All right, good morning, Diane. Thank you for being here. All right, folks, anything else on your mind? We're getting toward the end of the show, but we've got a few more minutes, so we're happy to get in some more answers for you.
And if any of you have
I've got something.
Go ahead. I was gonna make up something.
Okay, which is not hard. We always have something to say. Okay, so whoops, another question came in. So I need to add calcium to what you already prescribed. Okay, Yvonne wants to know if calcium's not already in her package, she should be adding that.
So everyone over 30, 35 should be taking calcium, because once we turn 25, 30, all humans our muscle and our bones begin to deteriorate. Even if the lab reports are saying that we're completely healthy, that's what's happening with the bones. And the bones are everything. Bone strength is what support the whole body. And as Jillian, I think, alluded to a little bit, when our bodies are lacking nutrients, it goes to the bone and steel, and that's what the medication anyone takes that cause that cause disruption in the nutritional system. And the body needs something. The heart, the brain, the kidneys need something, and the first place they go is usually the muscles. But if you're losing muscles, then it's going to go to the bone and steel. And so when it's steal from the bone, it's not just calcium, it's stealing everything from the bones. And then, the body can be severely affected. So yes, you know, take the calcium with the vitamin D, and everybody should be taking the calcium, even if you take it, once or twice a week to support your bones.
Excellent. All right. Sybil asked a question. I did follow up to ask her if she could give us some more detail just to know exactly what she'd like us to elaborate on. But maybe, Aston, this sparks something for you and you know what you want to say. She says, I've been experiencing occasional fecal incontinence that comes on suddenly and has a mucus consistency.
So the digestive tract, that's on like the liver, the pancreas, and don't be scared. So anytime I say the liver to all of you and the pancreas, don't be frightened. It's only because they are the two most important digestive organs we have in our bodies. They're the two most important ones, the liver and the pancreas. So any digestive issue, whether if it's constipation or looseness, any digestive issue is also related back to the pancreas and the liver. So if there's a issue with the digestive tract, what we would need to do for you is to help you rebuild your liver and your pancreas. And by doing that, we are ensuring that those organs are producing the digestive enzymes that are needed in the stomach and the small intestine. That's why we do that. If the stomach and the intestine do not have adequate digestive enzymes, the foods get held up in the small intestine and the colon. And so anyone who, when you do number two, you know what number two is. And if it's not coming out nice and smooth and easily, if it's coming out in hard bones and looking like that, it means that the digestive tract is impaired. It's not just the food you're eating. It's that the liver and the pancreas are not able to produce those oils. They're like oil. A lot of these digestive juices are like oil. They're enzymes, with amino acids. And when we do number two, things are supposed to just come out nice and easy. If it's not, it means that the liver and the pancreas are confused as to what it should do, and they're not working as well to help the digestive tract to push things through, or even to digest the food itself. So that's what anyone who has any issue with their stomach, whether it's acid reflux or gastric issue, or any of those autoimmune issues like Crohn's, constipation is actually one of those very serious ones as well. Or if you're going too loose, that is very serious because you're losing electrolytes that are needed, that are absolutely necessary. That's what you see in the first panel of your blood work, the metabolic panel. You see the sodium, you see potassium, you see chloride, all of those are calcium, all of those are part of the electrolytes in the stomach and the intestine. So that's why we have to rebuild the whole thing, because we don't know specifically where the issue is. So that's what we do. We do holistic. We rebuild the whole thing, the liver, the pancreas, the digestive tract. That's the only way we can safely help you with these issues. So we don't do remedies and target one of the symptoms, constipation. We don't do that because usually the symptom you're seeing is not the root of the problem. Usually you have the pain or the discomfort. It's a symptom of something else, or many other things that went wrong. So one of the things that I teach in my consultation is that when we have one health issue, one disease, once one disease starts, it recruits other diseases. So when you feel a symptom, many other diseases are taking place that maybe not showing up in the lab or the imaging. Trust me in that. Always. There is no exception because the whole body works together as one. It's one system. It's think of the body as one cell or as one organ. All works together. Okay? So when we rebuild or we support your body or we purify your body, whatever we do, we always have to think holistic because the root cause is very often unknown. Yes, ma'am.
So we'll follow it up with a very important detail, which is that she's on MS meds that can affect the liver. But MS also can just affect so many other things. So fecal incontinence, randomly when you can't control your bowels, does that play is that part of that bigger picture?
No, that changed everything I just said.
Okay. This is why we have consultations.
Throw it out the window. Throw it out the window. So let's hit the restart button. If you're taking MS, if you have MS, that's a whole different conversation because now we're talking about neurology. There is a neurological issue between the brain and the spine, and that will affect the whole body, not just digestive system. It affects the whole body because it's neurological. That's what neurology is. It affects the whole body. So if that's if you do have MS, then we need to talk. I need to see the labs. So that consultation, if we do it now, would not be very productive to you because I want to see the labs. I want to see the status of the MS, how long you've had it, any effects it's having on your body, or your arm, your brain, your legs, any other organs. I need to see the entire neurology because that's what MS is. MS is a neurological health issue condition. So everything I just said, you can throw it out the window for anyone who has a neurological issue, but it applies to everything else. All other issues besides neurological, a lot of what I said will apply to it.
Right. And fecal incontinence, just loss of control of anything down there is often neurological. So
exactly. The
yeah,
nerves are sending messages, and that's what neurology is, folks, or NuSpecians. Our nerve are the messengers. And just to give you a perspective, about 90% of the neurons that flow in the nerves are in the brain. And MS is primarily a brain issue. If you have MS, it's primarily brain. So the neurons in the brain, if there's MS, are not flowing the way they should. And that's why what I said changes everything. If it's MS. Yeah.
Okay, she said she'll request a consultation. And Sybil, just so you know, you don't have to. You just call and let them know that you were on the Q&A. Aston said that he needs more information. So the first thing that you can do is send in your labs, because if you call today ahead of that, Aston's still just going to say the same thing. So I'll just put up the contact information. You can email your labs, or you can choose to fax them. I'll put the fax number in the chat. It's up to you. If you want your doctors just to send everything for you, 7965. Then you could give your doctors the fax number. If you have your most recent set of labs or testing, you can just email it to support@nuspecies.com. And then the team will notify Aston that there's a set of labs, and that will prompt him to know he needs to call you. Otherwise, after that, whenever you call, you don't need an appointment. The team will just conference Aston in. Okay. All right. We did have one more question, but I think we only have like 4 minutes. So we can see if you have like something to offer Leslie here. And if you think it needs to wait till next week, just say so.
Is it the same Leslie or a new Leslie?
Yeah. So we got Leslie's on fire today. She's powering our whole Q&A.
Okay, Leslie, let's do it.
Leslie says, what causes constant burping and heartburn even hours and hours after eating?
So I think that, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with the deepest love. the deepest affection to all of you. Whenever you ask me a question, record it. Get your phone out and record what I'm saying and take it back to your doctors and play it to them, because they may need to hear it to be able to help you with the health issues you have. Especially if you're taking NuSpecies, don't hide that you're taking NuSpecies. Tell them that you're taking NuSpecies, and tell them, that's what Aston says, and let them comment on it. Don't let them ignore it, because everything I tell you is factual and it's true. And if I'm speculating, I tell you I'm speculating, which I rarely ever do. I don't speculate, because when it comes to people's health and their life, it's serious, and I'm a straight shooter. So.
But also just before they get stressed about maybe not knowing how to record what you're about to say, the replays are always on our YouTube channel. So you can just, okay.
You can copy it there. So you mentioned weight. So I had the whole discussion on digestive, the pancreas, the liver. The additional information you just gave has underscored my points completely in what I said. So if you have these other symptoms, we need to rebuild your liver, your pancreas, and your digestive system, because now you have just confirmed that these issues are related to your liver and your pancreas. And it's not that you have a liver issue, it's not that you have a pancreatic issue. What happened is that for a lot of us humans, God didn't make us as perfectly as others. And I know I fall into the imperfection category because of my mother with diabetes and she lost both legs, and my father with prostate cancer. So I know I have a lot of genes inside of me that rule me out of perfection. Okay, but
not me. I'm perfect.
Good, but there are certain foods, Leslie, if you eat them, even if they're healthy, your liver and your pancreas may not produce the enzymes to assist to digest them. And that's why a lot of people have allergy and other reaction to foods, is because the body is saying, what is that? Even though it's real food, it's normal food, the body doesn't know what to do with it. And that can lead to digestive issues like gasiness and constipation, or even diarrhea, because the body doesn't know what to do with it. The body can't use it, even though it's natural, completely natural. So that's why we have to, all these clients that come to us over the years, that's why we have to rebuild their digestive system. Because again, for you, even with all the information you've given us, we still don't know what the root cause is. We don't know if there's certain hormones your thyroid is not producing, certain hormones the liver, the pancreas not producing. We don't know. So we have to rebuild the whole thing to make sure we get it right. And that's why when anyone comes to us to just sell them one ingredient or one bottle based on the condition they have, and they're trying to get help, that's why we can't do that, because we do try to do the right thing. And yes, people say we're expensive, but I personally believe that we're cheap. Whatever products we have, they're very inexpensive because of their efficacies, what they can do to support the body. And we do it right. We manufacture right. We do the testing. We comply with the FDA. And all of those compliances takes a lot of money to get to you safe products. And Jillian knows it better than me. Maybe she should spend the next Q&A just talking about our manufacturing process and all the testing, all the things we go through to get you a safe bottle of NuSpecies. A lot we have to spend to do so. And when I say spend to do so, using third parties, objective professionals who are certified to do it. So let's help you rebuild your digestive system, and you with your liver and your pancreas, and I think you'll get really good results, Leslie.
Yeah, I wonder if she is on the purification package, depending on which one she can get, how much support she might see in that area just during that time.
She will see support. She will see great support, because the purification is for the whole body.
Yeah. The good news, Leslie, is because our formulas are made with whole foods in most cases, they are going to provide all sorts of stuff for you that you're not necessarily asking for, or that we're not even recommending for, but we can't force your body to ignore nutrients that have been provided. So just because we say we're honing in on what you're interested in, it doesn't mean that your body isn't going to now use everything that is available in our products to do whatever it thinks needs to be done, even the stuff we don't know is happening, right? So that's the good news about when you think you're focusing on one thing, your body is not. And our products is not forcing your body to do one thing. Our products are giving your body a buffet to choose from. So I think you will see a lot of support in the meantime. All right. Yes, she said she will call. Awesome. All right. We are at 11 o'clock. We're ready to open up Bronxville and get into our day. So thank you all so much for being here. Please, before you go, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do that. And if you want to get emails or texts from us, you can join our email and text list on the home page of our website. And if you don't like that and you want to just download our app and get notifications from the app, you can do that. Just make sure you allow the notifications once you download the app. And I usually send like some of the most important stuff through the app, as well as all of our minute-to-minute updates with business hours. Those tend to go through the app quickly versus the other ways to get our business hours. So those are all ways you can allow us to reach you. All very easy to unsubscribe from if you are not enjoying it. Otherwise, joining the Q&A every Saturday is another way to get information. So we hope you all subscribe before you leave and stay in touch with NuSpecies, and we will do everything we can to keep you moving along your own unique health journey.
And thank you for your questions. Those were great, excellent questions. Allow us to talk about things we normally wouldn't talk about. So thank you. Thanks to all of you. And again, everything we do here, believe it or not, we do it to help the best way we know how. So thank you for joining as well.
All right. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.